The theme of this past year was compassionate curiosity. This demonstrates the spirit of ECRC serving the community from a place of curiosity about each other, our neighbors, different cultures, a compassion for those differences, and a resiliency to work together to move forward. One of our greatest assets is our staff. I'd like to recognize the incredible dedication, the creativity, the resourcefulness that everyone working for ECRC has continually done to go above and beyond their call of duty and achieve more in this ever-changing landscape. It'd be impossible to maintain the level of excellence in service delivery without them. It is for this reason that during the fiscal year, we have worked hard to secure more employment we've tried to provide more attractive employment packages in order to recruit competitively. We're looking at securing long-term sustainable funding in order to achieve this for a longer period of time. It is our belief that having a high level of staff retention is going to be what's the most important in allowing us to achieve these consistent results and keep improving the services for our clients. From 2020 to 2025, we have a number of strategic plans. One of the goals we set for ourselves is to secure this long-term funding that I've been discussing. We're excited to report that we have achieved some long-term funding commitments for our partners, and I'll announce some of the people representing those organizations in a bit. This includes from federal, provincial levels of government, as well as philanthropic foundations and private donors. Sustainable funding is really what's going to allow us to operate with more certainty for the next 20 years. Just as most Canadians have been horrified by the recent discoveries of unmarked graves at various former residential school sites, these new, well, they're not new, but these kind of recently brought to light discoveries have galvanized our commitment to learning and sharing the horrors of residential school experience and the other ills of colonialism in our past. We consider it our duty to know and share the history of residential schools and the ongoing crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in order to contribute in addressing this ongoing impact with the population that we serve today in Elmwood and beyond. For this year, one thing that we have really worked to do is create more of a relationship with the Indigenous community. We have 2 Indigenous elders and knowledge keepers with whom we regularly consult in areas of their expertise. In addition to ongoing collaboration, these elders also provide monthly teachings on Indigenous healing practices, not only to our staff and clientele, but also to other agencies free of cost, which we are very thankful for. Throughout the pandemic, ECRC has continued to reach out to our community through various campaigns and initiatives. Our Light Up the Community campaign was a great success and allowed us to connect with businesses and service providers throughout the city. The initiative aimed to conduct a mass education campaign on spotting signs and impact of gender-based violence and how to intervene when gender-based violence is suspected. In March 2021, we were honored to be one of the City of Winnipeg partners in organizing Winnipeg's first Anti-Racism Week. We hope our input contributed to this commendable endeavor. At ECRC, we aim to lead by example. Our management team is one of the most culturally diverse management teams in the sector. With the growth of our organization, we continue to be challenged by the lack of space. As a short-term solution, the City of Winnipeg has allowed us to use 2 additional offices at our 545 Watt Street location, while the city's park and recreational staff are on seasonal leave. In partnership with the Winnipeg Foundation, we will be transforming our current kitchen into a commercial kitchen with a larger commercial stove that will increase our capacity to prepare and serve meals more efficiently to our community. Through our community partnerships, we've been offered office space in the new Riverwood House, a supportive housing initiative for people facing homelessness, addiction, and mental health challenges. The commitment includes a mandate for ECRC to offer counseling, mental health services, and cultural teachings by our Indigenous leaders and our residents. Finally, we would like to thank the board for their continuous and unwavering support. Due to their skills and expertise, we were able to navigate and change in our medical and legal environments quickly. Our board went above and beyond in their support, even delivering hampers to families in our community and joining us on various panels to share their extensive knowledge with the sector. We thank you for the gift of your time. It's been a pleasure to work with you all. Thank you. Next, I'd like to acknowledge and introduce two leaders from funders of ours. I'd like to introduce Naomi Gichungu from the Community Investment Manager at the United Way of Winnipeg, as well as Nanith Banyas, a Community Grants Associate at the Winnipeg Foundation. They'll be speaking, I believe, a little bit further on, but we would like to acknowledge them and thank them for joining us and the ongoing support that they've provided us.
My name is Naomi Gichungu, and I am a Community Investment Manager at the United Way Winnipeg. Thank you so much for the invitation to be part of the Elmwood Community Resource Center's 20th Annual General Meeting. At United Way, I support the stewardship process of the funding investments that are made to ECRC. United Way has proudly supported ECRC since 1999. For more than 50 years, United Way Winnipeg has worked to make our city great for everyone. Guided by our volunteers and the wisdom of our community, we invest in local programs to change lives in Winnipeg. We bring together people and resources to make big ideas happen. Our partnership with ECRC is integral to United Way's vision of building a thriving community where everyone can realize their potential. United Way's funding supports ECRC in their work to build community in Elmwood with resources and supports that make the neighborhood a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Our investment, as I mentioned, dates back to 1999, and at the time it was about $60,000. Currently, through the generous support of donors, we provide sustained core funding to the amount of $162,450. Sustained core funding ensures that ECRC's programs continue to support Winnipeggers and meet them where their need is at. In addition, United Way is a proud partner with ECRC in the For Every Family initiative investment. This investment ensures that ECRC keeps their doors open longer and supports community members through the drop-in program. United Way Winnipeg is about connecting Winnipeggers from all walks of life around a single goal, making Winnipeg a better place for all of us. On behalf of United Way, I'd like to thank ECRC and all of you here for everything that you're doing to support our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naomi. I apologize. My agenda told me that you're speaking at 7, but it asked me to introduce you, so that's why there was confusion. Thank you again so much. As you said, this sustainable long-term funding is one of the biggest struggles of all organizations and is going to be the key to ongoing success. So we really thank you and everything the Winnipeg Foundation has done, United Way has done. Next, I'd like to call on Neneth to come speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, to Elmwood residents, I believe over at Poplar, Elmwood Community Resource staff and board members, as well as community partners who are in the Zoom call right now, and also friends who are joining us tonight to celebrate ECRC's 20th anniversary. My name is Nena Banyas from the Winnipeg Foundation, and I'm speaking to you from my home here in Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji Cree, Dakota, and Dene people, and the homeland of Métis Nation. As a settler immigrant, I want to acknowledge my responsibility to learn, unlearn, and learn some more the truth of our history. The Winnipeg Foundation have worked with ECRC for 14 years, starting from supporting the Kinley Side Resource Center to many different programs like after-school program for youth, homework support, and critical mental health counseling. We see ECRC's dedication and commitment to the residents of Elmwood, ensuring that different voices are included, represented within your community organization, and that programming are accessible in your community. We also recognize your role as a community leader in discussing and problem solving complex issues such as addiction, mental health, and racism in true partnership, and I want to say also authentic partnership with community members and stakeholders. I'm reminded of Nina's quote for our cause campaign here at the foundation. She said it best: "It takes a village to raise a vibrant and healthy individuals." Congratulations again to ECRC for supporting this village. Together, we are working alongside you, helping to create a Winnipeg where community life flourishes for all.
Congratulations to the program for 20 years of service. It's always really important again, and it's such an honor to participate. This is the first time I've connected with this organization. I'd like to thank Nina for inviting me to come on and just to observe. It's a great honor. I'd like to just do the land acknowledgement once again. I know it was said once, but I'd like to do it again. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the ancestral lands of Treaty 1 territory, homeland of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis people. And the land and the water that we drink comes from Shoal Lake 40. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this opportunity to honor the great work done by the ECRC over the past 20 years. I was a vice principal at Elmwood in 2001 and was in that position to 2004, and the ECRC began in 2001. When I returned to Elmwood in 2008, I was on the board for a year, but I would like to commend them for involving the youth so deeply in their programming that the school voice is much better represented from the youth involved with the ECRC than with me being on the board. Over that time, the effectiveness of engaging young people and hearing their voice has been greatly enhanced through innovative programming. The relationship between Elmwood High School and the ECRC is positive and mutually supportive. The Newcomers Lunch and Learn is one such innovative program and works closely with our fantastic intercultural support worker, Rose Kamani. The youth benefit from this combined effort. Another exceptional undertaking is the Homework and Employment for Elmwood Youth program that engages large numbers of our students in staying on top of their schoolwork and developing leadership skills. Both it and the Lunch and Learns were really missed last year. And I can't say how good it was to have both of those programs return this year. The Lunch and Learns have been going for a while this year so far, and to have the homework program back in our library last night, it was fantastic to see everybody. The funds to honor our graduates are greatly appreciated, as are the special summer programs and the special cultural events. These are highlights many of our kids look forward to. I also commend the ECRC for the many other programs that support families in a multitude of ways and helps them deal with a range of challenges faced by many families in the Elmwood community. I find it fascinating to learn about the successes of all the programming at each AGM. Well done on the pop-up vaccination clinic this summer. On behalf of Elmwood's high school students, staff, and families, I thank you for working so closely with the school in providing a tremendous range of opportunities for the young people in our community. Thank you, Anne, Matthew, Charlene, Jana, Alyssa, Sebastian, and two Elmwood grads, Bola and Mungu. And Mungu is a person with whom I share a birthday, albeit 4 decades apart. Thank you also to Nina Kondo. I congratulate you and the ECRC crew for all the good you do in the Elmwood community. It has been an honor to have worked so closely with the ECRC for 16 of the past 20 years, and I look forward to continuing to do so in the future. All the best. Please continue this great work, and thank you for this honor.
My name is Amanda Condon. I am a family doc in Winnipeg and a member of the board. I'm really happy to be joining everyone tonight, as well as to be here with my friend and colleague Jessica. I'll let her introduce herself.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Jessica Clendenin. I'm also a member on the board. I've been on the board for the last 2 years now, and also excited to be with everyone here tonight.
So I'm going to get us started here. Let me just pull up my so we've been really just excited to be part of the board, and certainly over the last year and a half, things have been really challenging for all of us. We would really like to thank Nina and her team for all of their work and dedication and commitment to ECRC and to the Elmwood community. Despite the ever-changing landscape over the last year, Nina and her team have been able to adapt to ensure that they've continued to be able to respond to the needs of the community and meet people where they're at. Yeah. Jessica, I'm passing it over to you.
Yes, for sure. And I'm just going to talk a bit about some of the programs the ECRC has offered over the last year. So despite the COVID-19 pandemic, they've offered a wide variety of programs. It's been a really difficult time for many individuals, and the ECRC has continued to be a major support for all of its community members. Nina and the team were able to secure funding for all of its programming during the pandemic, which is a direct result of the hard work and dedication of all of the staff. So some of the highlights of the ECRC programming over the last year include the Elmwood Youth Employment Experience. So this is a 17-week program for youth aged 18 to 30 who are provided with a paid work placement in a variety of community businesses. Through this, they learn skills such as writing a resume, a cover letter, and then job skills for future employment. Another youth program is the Reach Out program for youth aged 12 to 18. So in this program, youth are provided with homework support and are given the opportunity to learn life and leadership skills. The Immigrant Settlement Worker Program is a program for newcomers to Canada. It helps connect new community members with services, programs, and employment in the community. The Ambiguasin is a traditional Indigenous parenting program where parents have the opportunity to learn about Indigenous teachings. The GOAL program is a literacy and adult learning program for individuals aged 19 and older. So as you can see, there are many different programs that offer lots of different supports to all different community members. And Elmwood Community Resource Centre also provides free counselling to its community members and supports its community members with food hampers, bus tickets, clothing, school supplies, and a community garden. And yeah, we are just like to highlight all these great things that they've done over the last year. And I'll pass it back on to Amanda.
Great, thank you. We've been fortunate to be able to participate as board members in some of these great activities. So we've been able to work alongside the team to work and meet the needs of the community. Specifically, delivering holiday hampers last December, driving around Elmwood was wonderful. I was also able to participate in one of the youth career evenings. I was joined by a senior medical student, and we were able to discuss opportunities for a career in medicine with some of the high school students. I'm not sure if the youth who attended enjoyed the evening, but I certainly enjoyed chatting with them and spending the night with them. Jessica and I were also really happy to support the team during their 2 days of pop-up COVID vaccine clinics in July. And at that time, we were joined by one of the first-year Access River East family medicine residents and really enjoyed spending time outside while people were getting vaccinated. All of this to say that Nina and the team have really demonstrated resilience, commitment, and adaptation in the midst of a year of really intense uncertainty. And it's unfortunate that where we're at right now is that uncertainty isn't really done. At this point, we really are all exhausted and ready to begin our path forward to the other side of the COVID pandemic. Well, what do we have to look forward to in the months and years ahead? What is the after COVID landscape going to look like? And I really think this is maintaining our commitment to community, looking out for our neighbors, speaking out against racism and inequity, and committing to protecting the planet. These are big, huge, daunting tasks, but are integral to success in a post-pandemic world. We can take the path forward together, ensuring that no one is left behind and feeling safe that we're forging the way together. The work done by Nina and her team and by ECRC over the last 20 years is impressive and demonstrates the commitment to community and growth that will be necessary in the coming months and years. Mr. Rogers told us to look for the helpers and that you will always find people who are helping. ECRC is home to many helpers in the community, in the Elmwood community. They've responded to increasing community need and adapted to meet the needs of community members. With their identified theme or previous theme of compassionate curiosity, and as we think about a positive path forward and as we move beyond COVID, we look forward to learning from and with each other as we continue to support the Elmwood community. We look forward to ongoing discovery and adaptation as we move forward together. Thanks so much for inviting us this evening.
Instead of singing the whole song, which is 4 verses, I'm going to sing 2 verses because I don't think you want to sit here for, 4.5 minutes of listening to my beautiful voice. So, so I'll sing 2 verses. So, all right. So that was an honor song from to honor the organization, the ECRC, and for all the hard work and dedication that you guys have been committing to the people and to the community. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to help you out in this way. And hopefully that inspired some of you to get more involved in the culture and include the culture in more opportunities. So on behalf of myself and my family, thank you. Wopunatanka, and we'll see you down the road.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I would imagine that I am challenged like everybody else with hearing the speakers clearly, but I'm very, very pleased to be invited to be with you, the Elmwood Community Resource Center and its committee and its community. I am speaking to you from Indigenous land. I want to pay homage to the Indigenous peoples, and I want to thank them for the opportunity for me as an immigrant woman to blossom and grow on their land. So let me then begin by congratulating Mark Gurrit, Nina, Zita, and all those who invited me to be here with you this evening. Let me thank you for the opportunity to be once again in Winnipeg, in Manitoba. Let me say that the 20th anniversary of any organization is one that must be recognized. 20 years in any lifetime is formidable. And that you have continued to do the work over these 20 years to serve in these challenging times over 15,000 people It is incredible. Is it 15,000 or 1,500, Marco? We're not too sure what I heard.
It's, yeah, 15,000.
15,000. That is incredible. That is almost a small town. I want to congratulate the board members, those I heard tonight, for the support that they give to you. I want to thank the sponsors, the partners, and all those who recognize how important community work is. I came to Canada in 1960, and I have been part of community and community building. As an advocate, as an activist, caring about the needs of individuals. And I know that you recognize this as staff, as frontline people, as volunteers, and people who give time to community. Canada is always noted as one of the best countries in the world in which to live. And it is because of organizations like the Elmwood Community Resource Center and others scattered across our vast land, where we all come together to respond to the needs of each other, to talk about communities' needs and what we all need to do to strengthen each other, to build each other, and to make sure that each and every member of our community can reach their full potential in a society where fairness, justice, and recognition of diversity are all essential. There was a time we used to talk about equality and equity. And I remember speaking on that subject to a group. And I began by talking about, equality is giving everyone a pair of shoes. So if I were to come around the room and I gave everyone a pair of shoes, that's equality. But it's not equity, because equity says that each person who gets a pair of shoes must get a pair of shoes that fits that individual. We've now moved on to talk about moving the equity and diversity, the equity and equality conversations to the conversations now around diversity and inclusion. And as I look at the room and I see the speakers, I know that you are a diverse and you are an inclusive community center serving a diverse community. And so we talk about diversity as the practice or the quality of including and involving people from a whole different range of social, ethnic, and different genders, sexual orientations, etc. We talk about diversity in terms of inviting everyone to the dance. And so everyone comes. So we have a diverse group of people in the room. But when we talk about inclusion, we're talking about making sure that everyone who is invited has an opportunity to dance. So diversity is getting us all in, and inclusion is fully. So why am I talking about equality and diversity and inclusion and all of this? Because I think those are the conversations that are now being held everywhere in our society and everywhere in different parts of the world. Spurred on by the pandemic that shows us that we are now almost, when I was growing up in Happy Hill, St. George's, Grenada, I used to hear about the global village. I never had a good concept of the global village, but this pandemic has now shown that we are all in a global village. What affects us here affects them there and affects everyone in every part of the world. And so when we talk about response to the pandemic, we know that those responses have to be in every part of the world in order for us to get to the other side of this. And so the challenges amplified by the George Floyd's killing that brought to the fore the issue of racism and the justice system and policing in our society, all of those have brought to us the notion that our conversation has to change, our respect for each other has to be such that we recognize the qualifications, we recognize the participants, and we recognize all those who are part of our society. And so the Black Lives Matter, the activism around that, the issue of the residential schools right in our very midst, the issue of the missing Indigenous women, and the responses that we have to make to offer to all of those issues tell us that we have to have this society and a society that cares, a society where things matter and should matter to all of us. And so we've moved. We see the conversations around diversity and inclusion as important. And so we are seeing this shown by the pandemic in different ways when we see the faces of the essential workers, when we see the epidemiologists and all those people who deal with the research and the knowledge around the pandemic, and we see the faces that are brought to us in the television in the evenings. We see the faces of people of color. We see the faces that for many of us were invisible faces. And at the same time, we recognize the people who are making contribution to our society. And so it's important for us as we work, we notice those faces, we notice the essential workers, we notice those people who are providing service to us, and the work that you're doing as frontline people, finding the needs, finding those who at this point in time that you can help, that you can elevate, that you can give courage and support to in a difficult world that we're all in. That's the essential work and the commendable work that you do at Elmwood Community Resource Center. You talked a bit about the sustainability and sustainability of funding, and I think it is important that we recognize that all of our organizations are strapped at this particular point in time. And so we know and we thank those with the consciousness, the donors, and the programs that support the work that we do on the front line. And as we move, hopefully, we'll move from the present challenges to another world on the other side of this, this pandemic. And that we will arrive on the other side of the pandemic as allies. And who are allies? Allies are people who share concerns. Allies are people who put themselves, as it were, in the place of the individual that they're serving, the individual they're responding to, the individuals who are part of community. Because I think we all want to create change. We all want to make sure that the world would be a better place. We all want to make sure that some of the things that we did prior to the pandemic, some of the things that we learned or we didn't learn, or it was important for us to learn, that those are all lessons that would take us forward. And that as a community, the 15,000 or so that you've served have all gotten one message, hopefully, and that is, I get help and I in turn will help someone. And this notion of paid forward, this notion of being grateful, this notion of recognizing that we all belong together, that the center, the school, the community, the bankers, the United Way, all those people who support the work that we do, the frontline people, so essential that we recognize we're all a community, that we're all in this together, and that as Canadians, we are a diverse society, we are an inclusive society, and we have to be allies with each other. So as we work towards change, as we work towards going forward into this, whatever this world is going to be after the pandemic, we want to think that we would see ourselves as change agents, each one of us. And we all want to make our society better. We want to see things change. And we know that it won't happen until each and every one of us do something towards that change. We must be allies. We must speak up for each other. We must be the one to say, there must be some way we can help you. This is what I can do, and here are where I can look for the opportunities to help you so that your life could be better. There is an old saying, to do nothing is to do something. To say nothing is to say something. And so the old saying, we are our brothers and sisters keepers, that we all have a responsibility for each other, that we have to see change, we have to make change. And the only way we can make change and to have change in the world is for us all to be allies, to continue to support each other, to continue to encourage each other, to continue to give back, to continue our best efforts to support organizations like your own and to support each other in the community. So let's be respectful, let's be thankful, let's be grateful for all that has happened over the past year that we have come through. And we're in this room tonight celebrating 20 years. So we have a lot to be grateful and thankful for. We can look around the world and see misery here and misery there, disaster here and disaster there. And so we have a lot to be thankful for in our own lives. And so as we celebrate 20 years, I wish you the very best for the next 20 or more. And I wish you also, as you serve the community, as you give of your best, that we all become allies in this cause, and that the road to diversity and inclusion is really ours to take. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Augustine. That was beautiful words, very inspiring. I don't know how I'm going to follow that up now with the business that we have to do. I just want to thank everyone who's joining us, both in person and on their devices. I don't know if anyone here was part of our AGM last year or our Black History Month event, but they were very successful. So, send out links for the videos so everyone will be able to watch and listen to those on their own time. Right now, I was supposed to be presenting my board chair report, but I did that right at the beginning to make up for some of the time. I think some of you will be happy to hear that we're actually running about half an hour before schedule, so no worries about that. I'm going to be calling upon Neil, our board treasurer, to provide his report. But before I do that, I just want to thank everyone for joining us again and all the hard work that everyone's put into this. as well as the past year. When we went into, this COVID and the lockdowns, we weren't sure how long it would take. And there was definitely times where people were burning out, but I'm really glad to see that everyone has kind of reinvigorated their enthusiasm to adapt and change. And, we're still living through this. We're still doing this together. So thank you very much. And we do have some very exciting things we need to do first. The first is to accept the agenda. So can I get someone, from the board or anyone, please, to set a motion to accept the current agenda? Not all at once, please.
Yeah, I can move.
Okay. Can we have someone second, please?
Yeah, I can second.
Thank you. And all in favor? If anyone objects, speak up. Otherwise, we're going to assume that everyone is in favor. Okay, there we go. As well, we have our 2020 AGM minutes. Can someone please set a motion to accept those past year AGM minutes?
I can do that, Marco. It's Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda. Can we get someone to second?
Second.
Thank you. And same as before, if I don't hear anyone, I'm assuming that we're all in favor. Okay. Thank you very much. Neil, I apologize for calling you up and then interrupting you and putting you back, but you may go again.
No problem. Thanks for that, Marco. And I just wanted to echo your same thoughts in thanks to all the presenters, and in particular the last presentation by Dr. Augustine. I thought was tremendous. It was very inspiring listening to those words. So hopefully you can all hear me all right. I see a pop-up saying that ECRC's network bandwidth is low, so I'm not sure if the hall can hear this all right, but I'm Neil Richard, and I'm the treasurer of the board of directors for ECRC, my second year with the organization, and I'm happy to be here today to walk you through our audited financial statements and the results for the year ended March 31st, 2021. Hopefully those on the call received the copy of the statements in their package, and those in the hall in front of them. If you don't, we can certainly share a copy afterwards. First and foremost, as part of our charitable nonprofit status, we have an external audit of our financial records done every year. The results of those are reported on the second page, most notably under the second paragraph where it says opinion, where they state that, quote, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the association as at March 31st, 2021, and the results of its operations and cash flows for the years ended in accordance with Canadian accounting standards for not-for-profit organizations. In simpler terms, this means that these statements and results are accurately presented, which is a real testament to the hard work of Nina, Anne, Benny, and the rest of the team. So thank you to all of them for continuing to do their great work that they do year after year. Moving forward to our actual results, we'll start with the statement of financial position, or as some may refer to it, a balance sheet. This shows ECRC is in a strong position of financial health. I'll highlight the two following changes. Our cash at the end of the year is increased to approximately $93,000. This is primarily a result of timing of expenditures and receipt of funds from some of our major funders close to year end. You'll see some of this increase also reflected in decreases to grants receivable, increases to accounts payable, and increases to deferred grants, which represent money received from funders and agreements which require specific spending but was not yet spent at our year end. You'll also notice a significant increase in our capital assets this year, which is due to the purchase of 2 new vans for our programming, which has really been critical to the programming that we do with the community. Next, we'll move on to the statement of operations, or the income statement, which I feel really tells the true success story at ECRC. You'll notice that our revenues have increased from 1.1 million in 2021 to almost 1.5 million in 2021. This is an increase of over 30%, which brings us to our highest levels ever. This is an incredible achievement not only for ECRC, but because of the circumstances of the last year where many other organizations struggled for funding and had pandemic-related roadblocks in delivering programming. Truly, this is a testament to the hard work and flexibility of everybody at ECRC and how the organization was able to adapt and shift to continue to deliver valuable programming throughout the pandemic. So thank you again so much to Nina, the staff, and everybody involved in that day-to-day work and really delivering programs to the community. Notably, the revenue increased across all major categories, including United Way funding and both levels of government funding. Correspondingly, expenses have increased. We do remain lean in our building and administrative expenses, which allowed our program expenditures to increase by 38%. The excess of revenues over expense of the year is approximately $87,000. This amount stays within the organization, and much of it has already been planned for spending in the short-term needs, including covering salary costs that aren't covered by funding, covering space improvements for some newly leased programming space, and contributions to our internal contingency funds. The notes to the financial statements will be relatively consistent to prior years. They explain our accounting policies and give more detail on what you'd see in the first pages of the financial statements. I won't go into them in detail, but if you do have any questions, I welcome you to reach out to me at any time. Nina can pass along my contact info if you need. You'll notice at the very end that we do make a disclosure around COVID-19, which is a similar disclosure to what many other organizations are required to do. Ultimately, any forthcoming pandemic impacts on our financial statements are expected to be temporary, if at all. As you've seen, the organization has really proved that they're able to remain flexible and continue to deliver programming, and we expect this to be continue to be the case regardless of what is in front of us. So once again, I'd like to extend a huge thank you to Nina, all the staff at ECRC for the tremendous work they've done this year. They worked tirelessly through the uncertainties and stresses of the pandemic, and the results really speak for themselves. Thank you as well to our external auditors, Magnus LLP, and the team led by Kelly. I believe I saw her on a call previously. I think she might still be here as well. Yeah, I see her on the screen. They do great work for us. They have a great relationship with Nina and the team, and certainly this document would not be in front of you today without the work that they do. So with that, I'll stop talking for a sec and I'll open the floor to any questions before we move on to the next piece. Okay, hearing that resounding silence, there is one more piece of business we have to take care of, and that's appointing our auditors again for the upcoming year. As mentioned, Magnus LLP has been our auditor for several years now, and they know our organization well. The rest of the board recommends that we reappoint them as auditor for another year, excuse me. But we do ask that this be passed by the membership. So before we ask for a motion, are there any questions or discussion on the matter? And hearing none, can I ask for a motion to appoint Magnus LLP as ECRC's auditor for the 2021-2022 fiscal year?
I suppose.
Thank you. Can I get a second as well?
I can second that.
Okay. Similar to Marco, we'll say if we don't hear any objections, we'll take that as approval, but I'll give a moment for that. And we should consider the motion passed. So thank you all for your time. Thank you again to Nina, Kelly, and everybody else that made this possible. And I'd like to pass things back to Marco now, who I believe, along with Matt, will take us through the slate of new nominees. I think that's the next item on the agenda.
Yep. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Neil, and everyone on the financial team, both internal, external. As you all know, not a lot of people like to worry about the finances, but an integral part of any healthy organization is having a strong financial backbone. And without these individuals, we wouldn't be in the good position that we are today. Let me just see, is Matthew here? He told us that he would probably not be here. I don't think I see him. Okay, so I will be presenting our slate of nominees for the board for 2021. First up, we have Subdeep Sidhu. He works closely with Transcona City Councillor and volunteers on various community centers, local after-school programs. He has an MBA. He is passionate about the work of ECRC, and he wants to use his expertise and knowledge to propel ECRC's impact in the community. He's a new member. We have Lisa, who is a returning member. She is research coordinator at the Winnipeg Boldness Project and has been serving on the ECRC board since 2018 as board of director, and was elected vice chair of the board in 2020. Since working at the Winnipeg Boldness Project, she values the work of the Community Resource Center and wanted to give back to her community by offering her expertise and time at the ECRC. Lisa has supported the Human Resource Committee, spent countless hours in revising the center's human resource policy along with other board members. Lisa has graciously agreed to let her name stand for a second term. Thank you, Lisa. And she's also a resident of Elmwood. Matthew is a lawyer at Taylor McCaffrey and has been serving on the ECRC board since 2018. Matthew actively engages in the community development projects. He's volunteered at the Legal Help Clinic, the Canadian Journal of Human Rights, and recently has joined the Manitoba Harm Reduction Network board. Matthew is the chair of the Human Resource Committee. We have been extremely fortunate to have a pandemic policy developed during COVID-19 was being declared. Matthew took on the task of reviewing and updating all our existing policies, including the governance policy and the organization bylaws, to be able to adapt to the situation. Matthew is always willing to lend a hand, both with the center's operational services while continuing to support the governance committee too. He too graciously has agreed to let his name stand for a second term. So can we please get a motion to accept our nomination slate for 2021?
It's Amanda. I will move, or whatever the
Set
word
the motion.
is.
Thank you, Amanda.
Set the motion, yes.
Can we get someone seconding?
I second it.
Thank you, Daniel. Same as we're doing before. If anyone has any objections, please speak up. Otherwise, we'll assume all in favor. Awesome. I can't imagine anyone having any objections, so I appreciate that. All right, next up, I'm not sure if everyone received them, but we do have some proposed changes to the bylaws for this year. They're not as significant as last year. So last year there were significant changes made to the bylaws in order to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and to permit the AGM to proceed virtually, as well as many other things that needed to be in person previously. This year the revisions are much less substantial. There's a number of just stylistic and grammatical changes to improve the document. There's also some technical changes to the language and the limitation of liability provision. That's in section 8.1. Other than that, the most substantial change is really a clause was added to the bylaws to prioritize recruitment of Indigenous candidates, visible minorities, immigrants, and refugees, people with all kinds of lived experience who are actual community members of ECRC. The provision requires that where possible, a minimum of 2 directors fall within the aforementioned categories. The goal is that this provision will result in a board of directors that is representative of the community that we are serving. We expect that the bylaws will continue to be reviewed on an ongoing basis to ensure that they're appropriate and reflect the modern issues facing the community that ECRC represents. So with that being said, can we have a motion? Can someone please set a motion to approve the proposed bylaw changes? And if people need some time to have a look at them, we can allow for that. Anyone would like to set the motion for the bylaws? If we need more time, just say so.
Set the motion.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Can someone please second that?
Yeah, I can second it.
Thank you, Jessica. Okay, just as we've been doing previously, if anyone objects to it, please speak up. Otherwise, we will assume that all are in favor.
I'm good. Hey, thanks so much for having me. You guys can hear me? We're good. First of all, did I win something just now? I heard some laughing. I thought I heard my name and it was Dan or Ben, and then you know what? I won something. Oh, sweet. What did I win?
A door prize.
Oh, a door prize. Nice. All right. Okay, a couple things. Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. Big round of applause. Thank you so much, Nina and the crew at Elmwood. Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to Nina, one of the greatest, nicest people I've met. You can see that by all the support she's getting from all around the city, all over the community. Congratulations on 20 years, Nina. I'm sure there's going to be, you know, more than 20 years, you know, and it's going to keep growing. So yeah, congratulations, Nina, on success of Elmwood. Just one quick thing. I didn't get my food. I don't know. I'm in Ottawa here. I don't know if it was missed. I don't know if it's coming maybe tomorrow. But yeah, just a heads up, Nina. Didn't get my food. So you'll be hearing from me later. And this will work a lot better. So thank you guys for having me. This is a comedy show. I did win a prize already. So everything that happens now is just gravy. And if a joke doesn't land, I'm just going to blame it on technical issues. So that's my fail safe. But it would help me a lot if everyone just gets on camera. So I want to see Neil. I want to see Sean, Jessica, Lisa, Amanda, Margaret. I saw you came on there. Thank you. Valeria, Vicky. Let's get on camera. Let's all get on. You guys, come on. Put away the bomber game. Margaret, thank you for getting on camera. I appreciate that. And also, if you guys can unmute yourselves, if you don't have a lot of background noise, if you want to mute yourselves, because it does help to hear some laughter when doing this. And I do like, Margaret, I do like your photo of, I like your Zoom photo because you could, it almost looks like you're still watching us live. Margaret, go off camera for a second. Margaret, go off camera. Right now, it looks like Margaret is still there, right? She's got, that's a classic Zoom trick, right? Where it looks like she's online, but she's not. But thank you, Margaret. All right, Margaret, back on camera, back on. Thanks. Well, again, thanks so much for having me, Margaret. That's your. I need you off mute, Margaret. You're gonna be my rock, Margaret. Get off mute. Unmute yourself. I know.
Okay, here I am.
All right, go back on mute now, Margaret. That's enough heckling for one night. No. Keep up mute. No, it's good to be here. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, my name is Ben Walker. Yeah, I'm a comedian now. I've lived in I lived in Winnipeg and now I live in Ottawa. And it's so good to be out here, even though we're still in the Zoom, we're still locked down. So thank you guys so much for your patience, perseverance during these times. It is, you know, it's okay for me. I get to do shows in front of you lovely people and I get to wear sweatpants, which is kind of nice. Or sometimes no pants, but no, I'm wearing my finest sweatpants. My 20th anniversary sweatpants, Nina. These sweatpants are 20 years old, so I put them on specially for tonight for the show. It's good to be here. And honestly, you know, I live in Ottawa now, but you know, I'm from Regina. I lived in Winnipeg, and I was in Winnipeg, you know, during the lockdown in October. I was by myself from October till January. I moved to Ottawa, peak pandemic. Ottawa became locked down January 1st to April. So I was locked down by myself from October till October till pretty much April alone. And you know, when you're alone for, you know, for those 6 months, you really take stock of what's important in life, you know, like family, friends, community. And when you're home alone for 6 months, you know, I realized the most important thing in my life was material things. That is the most important thing in my life, is when you're home alone, you need some electronics, you need some toys and a good setup. Like I love my mom. But do you think her stories got better during lockdown? Do you think calling my mom, her stories got better? Like I love her. Like before lockdown, my mom would tell me, and she lives in Vancouver, so I don't know what she does out there, but she would call me and she would tell me who she saw that day. I didn't know who they were, but my mom would, every time I talked to my mom, she would go, "Hey Ben, you know who I saw lockdown? Do you know what her stories became? Her stories became who she would have seen that day if it wasn't for COVID." Right? So that's what I was listening to. Is that better than PlayStation 5? I don't know. I don't think so. No, but I can't hear any laughter. Are we still having technical difficulties? Can you guys hear me okay? Are we still? Okay, you got come on, Vicky, Christine, Valeria, where are you guys? John, get on camera. What's going on here? This is hard enough as it is. No. Now, Margaret, I can see you're laughing. Get off mute. Just get off mute already, Margaret.
Hi. What?
Margaret, I will boot you out of this Zoom so fast. I will boot you out of this room so fast if you don't stay on camera here. Just kidding.
So now mute off.
Yeah, mute off. No, the funniest part for me, I was so I didn't. I would do any show during lockdown. I've done a lot of Zoom shows, so this is fun. This is fun for me. I do enjoy it. And the funniest the funniest show I did during lockdown was CJLB. You know, the AM radio station that none of us listen to. Yeah, so CJLB wanted me to phone in to just kind of lighten the mood, you know, because COVID was getting people down. So this radio DJ who has not missed a day of work wants me to call in to cheer him up. I'm like, okay. So of course I'll do anything, right? Even for nothing. I will do any gig. So I phoned into the radio station and I got the coveted 7 a.m. slot, right? I got the coveted 7 a.m. time slot, Saturday. Okay. And so I got the Saturday a.m. time slot. So the host, his name was Joe or Bo or Tom or Flo. I don't know. They're all the same names. They're all named Joe. They're all named Bo. I don't know who these guys are. They all just rotate over the years. So I phoned into CJOB at 7 in the morning. And then the host is like, hey, Ben, you know what? We're all down. We're all feeling down here at the station with the lockdown. Can you tell us a joke, you know, to kind of lighten the mood? And I'm like, okay, sure. I'll tell a joke, you know, for the listeners. Before I did my joke, the host goes, yeah, but Ben, just remember, you got to keep it PG because the kids are listening. And I was like, wait a minute. What types of kids are listening to AM radio at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday? Because we should, I think they might be in trouble. There's no way a kid is willingly listening to this station at 7 in the morning on a Saturday. We gotta find these kids. They need help. All right, I can still see we're having some technical difficulties. Moving on. Yeah, but it was good to go home. I did go home to Saskatchewan to visit my family. That was fun. I got to see my dad finally after a year and a half. My dad just turned 70. And yeah, my dad turned 70. And on his 70th birthday, he retired. So take note, Margaret. On his 70th birthday, he retired. My dad retired on his 70th birthday.
Sorry, it will be in a week.
In a week, okay.
In a week, exactly. I have 70th birthday.
Don't try and steal, Margaret. Don't you try and steal the thunder of ECRC's 20th anniversary with your 70th birthday. That is next week.
No retirement.
Hey, Marco, Nina, can we get Margaret out of the room if we could? That'd be great. No, I'm just kidding. No. So my dad retired on it. So I went home to visit my dad in Saskatchewan, and on his 70th birthday, he retired. And the first thing I said to my dad was, I'm like, hey, Dad, I hope you have saved enough money for the both of us. RSPB. And I love my dad. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. He's retired, and now he grows marijuana. He never smoked weed before, but now he has a new hobby. I guess he's a gardener. He's a gardener now. And I'm talking a lot of marijuana. First of all, I can say it's legal, so don't anybody get uppity here. It is legal. It is medicine. So, but it's weird now that my dad is 70 and he's growing all this marijuana and he's taking all these edibles, because now it's like I'm the parent and I have to tell him, hey, Dad, if you're in trouble, if you're feeling kind of out of it, just call me and I'll pick you up. Just call me if you don't feel good. I'll give you some water, right? So I feel like I'm the parent now. And one of the things that we do together with my dad is we go to Costco together, right? Because he's got the membership, right? So we go to Costco together. And I swear to God, so I go to Costco, but my dad had an edible. We go to Costco, and we're cruising around Costco. I turn around, and I can't find my dad. This is like a month ago. I lose my dad. I'm like, oh, where's my dad? So I'm walking around Costco trying to find my dad. I finally find my dad in the winter aisle. And this is how high I was. He was trying out shovels. He was air shoveling in Costco. Like somehow shovel technology has changed in 4,000 years. He's okay, let's get out of here, Dad. But I love him. I shouldn't make fun of my dad. I should not make fun of him. He's my hero. He's my mentor. I love him. He's a great guy. I want to be like my dad in every way, except for one thing. Except for his feet. You ever see a guy like over 60? You ever see their feet? Like what happened? Like when did the feet go? When did the feet just go? It's not, my mom's feet are great. But when do our feet go? I just want to get rid of mine. I don't know. I'm visiting my dad. We're sitting in the living room, and for some reason, he decides to take off his socks in front of me. And I look at his feet, and I'm like, oh my God, Dad, like what shade of yellow are your feet? Right? and his toes are all mangled. His toes are all mangled like a foot full of scissors. I'm like, why? Like, did you play soccer with a medicine ball growing up? Like, why are your feet like this? Like, why is your big toe facing southwest? Like, I don't understand why you have 10 toes and 1.5 toenails. Like, I just don't understand it. And they're so long, right? Like, I'm downstairs sleeping, right? It's 7 in the morning. It's like, I'm at my parents' place. I'm downstairs sleeping, right? It's 7 in the morning. I'm about to crank up the AM radio, right? So I'm about to crank up the radio at 7 in the morning. Then upstairs in the kitchen, I just hear clickety clack, clickety clack. I'm like, ugh. I guess dad's awake or an eagle's making waffles. Okay, I'll take 2. Thanks, Condor. And after golf, he always wants to go in the hot tub. Let's go in the hot tub, Ben. I'm like, ugh, gross. I'm like, fine, Dad. I'll go in the hot tub with you, but like, you have to wear winter boots. That's the only way. You have to wear Sorels. That's the only way I'm getting in there with you. Is if you put on some boots. You know what? I'm trying to think of the positive. I'm trying to think of the positive, you know, with the lockdown and COVID. One positive I can think of, honestly, is that we kind of got our personal space back a little bit, right? We kind of got, like, no one's in our line space anymore, right? Like, nothing would ruin my day more in the morning. You know, I'm in line for coffee, right? At Tim Hortons, I'm in line for coffee. I'm already grumpy. I need my coffee. And nothing would it would just ruin my day when the person behind you is so close to you, like you're facing forward, but like you can still see their nose. It's like, what are you doing here? Why are you so close? Right? Like, are we tandem skydiving? Like, get out of here, right? It would just ruin my day. So now we got that back, so I'm happy. But like Nina and you guys, like, I'm trying to be a more helpful person too. I'm trying to help as well. One thing I've done, especially for the grocery store workers, right? God bless them. God bless these grocery store workers. They were working 24/7, 365. Didn't shut down at all. So I try to do my part to help out the grocery store workers, not with any money or anything, right? Not like that. But what I did when I went grocery shopping, since the lockdown, whenever I went shopping and like halfway through my trip, I decided I didn't want that item anymore, I would actually go back to the aisle where I got it from and put it back on the proper shelf. That's what I did, right? Round of applause if you're one of those shoppers who halfway through you decide you don't want it anymore, you just drop it where it lies. You just drop it in whatever aisle. Why do we do that? Why are we so lazy? Especially with like perishable goods. I would do that with perishables, right? I would go to the grocery store with the best intentions. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make some healthy food tonight. I'm gonna barbecue some salmon. So I go to the deli, I get a nice thing of salmon. And then I'm walking in the grocery store. Then I see the chip aisle. I'm like, you know what? I'll just go down the chip aisle, just a trip down memory lane. And then I'm in the chip aisle. And then I'm thinking, you know what? Instead of barbecuing some salmon, I'm just going to have mesquite barbecue chips, I think. And then what do I do with the salmon? I just put the salmon behind like a bag of popcorn twists or bugles, right? No one's ever going to find it, right? No one ever shops for those. Why do we do that? Like, I should be banned. You should be banned for a week if you do that. You should hold up the food. You should hold up the food you left in the aisle, and to get your photo taken like a shoplifter and say this person did not return like the frozen meat. Right? That's what we should be banned for at least a week at these grocery stores. And I know I'm not the only one who does that. I swear to God, I was at the grocery store, and you know how they have the open cooler with the frozen turkeys? I saw on top of a frozen turkey a can of Whiskas. A can of cat food was placed on top of a frozen turkey. And I'm thinking, when did this person realize, oh yeah, I don't have a cat, and then just put that, then put it back in it and peel away? It's weird. I'm excited to go out to restaurants too. I'm excited to go to eat. Man, honestly, I live in Ottawa now. Winnipeg, best, like, by far, way better food than Ottawa. Way better. I miss Sukhothai, Bangkok Thai, like banh mi cake. I miss all the haunts in Winnipeg. Ottawa's okay, but I'm excited to try out these new restaurants out here. And especially like the local ones, like the mom and pop restaurants, And I don't know about you guys, the first time you go to one of these restaurants and they have the single stall washrooms, and you go into that single stall washroom and you see a plunger, right? The first time I see a plunger, I'm like, oh, that's got to be decorative. Because no matter what happens in here, I'm not using it. I am not using it. What am I gonna roll up my sleeves on date night? Just a minute, I'll be right out. Just gotta finish plumbing. I don't know. You know what, Zeta? I like you, Zeta. You got to get off mute. You are my rock. Margaret was my rock. Zeta, I need you off mute. You're laughing. I love you, Zeta. You're my rock. There we go. Get with the pro. Get with Zeta, you guys. Get with Zeta. She knows what's up. Thank you, Zeta. Thank you. Everyone else is wrong. You're right, Zeta. I do want to say, just to switch gears for a moment. Like, I've heard a lot about like Karen. You guys have all heard the term Karens, right? You know, these Karens. You know, the term Karen. Someone who like calls the cops on people is just like a busybody, just kind of gets in people's business, right? It's just like a nuisance. Now, I agree that 99% of the time Karens are awful people. But I want to shout out the kid. But sometimes sometimes you gotta use a Karen for your own good. I did that the other day. So I was at the post office. I want to shout out the Karen. So I was at the post office, Shoppers Drug Mart, to mail my nephew his birthday gift, ages 1 through 5. I'm a bit behind, right? They grow up so fast. So I'm there to mail him his birthday gifts, and I get to the post office. And there was no clerk there, but there was a sign that said, back in 30 minutes, right? So it was like there was that clock and when he's gonna be back. So I was like, oh God, like I have things to do, I have places to be. I can't wait half an hour for this guy to come back. But like, what are you gonna do, right? You just gotta wait, right? So I'm standing there waiting here for this guy to come back, and then all of a sudden, I just hear this sweet, sweet, dulcet voice behind me. Why aren't you moving? And then I turn around. And there is my Karen in shining Under Armour fleece jacket, and there she is. So then I go, okay, I'll get her to do something, right? So I go, miss, there's a sign there that says, he's going to be back in 30 minutes. And then Karen's like, well, this is ridiculous. There should be break coverage. I am on my lunch break. I don't have time to waste, right? And I totally agreed with her. Right. But then I sweetened the deal. I was like, because like she was getting mad, but she wasn't mad enough to do something yet. Right. So I had to like get her going even more. So I was like, you know what, miss? These are our tax dollars. Right. All you got to say is tax dollars, and people just lose their mind. Right. Like all you got to say is tax dollars are being wasted. And then we're like, oh, yeah, they're being wasted. Like we have no idea where they go. We have no idea where. All we know is they're being wasted. Right. All we know is they're not being spent properly. Right. So I go to Karen. I'm like, yeah, these are our tax dollars. And she's like, yeah. These are our tax dollars. So then Karen barges by me in line, cuts ahead of me in line, and starts hammering on the bell to get service, right? So then the Shoppers Drug Mart manager comes out, and she's like, and the manager's like, what's the problem? And Karen's like, this is ridiculous. I'm on my lunch break. You guys need to have break coverage. I don't have time to waste here while this guy's on break. There should be someone here. And I'm in the back just going, tax dollars, right? And then Karen's like, tax dollars? There should be tax dollars, right? And then Karen looks to me, and then right, so Karen's berating this Shoppers Drug Mart manager. Then Karen looks to me, she looks behind to me for support, right? But I'm too busy filming her with my phone to post later, right? Oh, this crazy lady, right? Like, what's she doing here? Here's another Karen, right? So then finally, but God bless it, Karen got the job done. So the Shoppers Drug Mart manager went back to get the post office clerk. The clerk came out to the front. So the clerk is ready to start serving people, and then Karen just keeps still berating. Now she's berating the post office clerk. So finally, I had enough, and I go, "Excuse me, miss, I was actually ahead of you in line." And then thank you, Margaret. There we go. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'll leave you guys with this because I know it's been a night. You guys are probably like, when is this guy gonna finish? I'll finish when I finish. I'm gonna go for another 2 hours, and then we'll get out of here. Then we'll get out of here. No, it is. I mean, I don't. Oh, Marco, is that you got a baby there? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh too loud.
No. Let the baby's got to hear it sometime. The baby's got to hear it. Got to hear it. That's my crowd. No, good to be. Are you married, Marco?
Unofficially, yeah.
Unofficially. Oh, so you're common law. Yeah. And how long have you guys been together?
12 years.
Oh, 12 years, and you're not married yet.
No.
No, I guess you know what? That's fair enough. I guess you guys better get to know each other first, right? You really get to know each other before you tie the knot, right? 12 years is not enough time. You got to keep It's at least 15 before you really know someone, I think. So good for you. But how old are you? You seem like a young guy. How old are you? Like 28?
I'm 33.
33. Okay, you look good.
Thank you.
Look good. You're 33. You're gonna look worse now that you have a baby. You're gonna age very, very poorly going forward. But right now you look great. Right now you look good. Pretty soon you're gonna look like me. I'm actually only 24, but you're gonna look good in no, I'm 41. Good for you for getting with someone. So you've been with her since you were 21.
Yeah.
That's the dream. I wish I got married or common law at 21. Like I'm 41 and I'm single. But at 41, am I single? No, I'm alone, right? There's a difference at this age, right? I'm alone. But I do like dating more in my late 30s, early 40s. I do like dating more now at this age because there is no beating around the bush, right? There's no, there's no time wasting. Like, you know, in your early 20s, you go out with someone, you got to ask questions like, so how many brothers and sisters do you have, right? No, I don't ask that anymore. Now, I don't care if you killed your whole family. I don't care. You know what I mean? That's where we're at, right? I get the tough questions right away. I went out with this one woman, Marco. I went out with this one woman a couple weeks ago, and I took her to a really nice restaurant, right? One of those restaurants where we sat down and paid after the meal. And the first thing she said to me was, right away, first question, Marco, right away, first question was, hey, Ben, you seem like a nice guy, like you're 40, like how come you've never been married? First question, she's like, Ben, why have you never been married? I was like, whoa. That's for you to find out. A little game I like to call Capture the Red Flag. Good luck. But you know, the one thing they say you're not supposed to. What's the one thing, Marco, you're not supposed to ask on a first date? Do you think? What do you think? What are you not supposed to ask?
Do you want to have kids? I don't know.
As you're holding a baby. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. No, they say you're not supposed to ask about the person's ex history, right? They say you're not supposed to ask about the person's ex-boyfriend or girlfriend. That is false. You should. I always ask right away. I'm like, tell me everything about your ex-boyfriend, because I want to know. I always say first thing, tell me everything about your ex-boyfriend, because I want to know A, okay, that guy kind of sucked. I can totally hang, or else B, she'd be describing him, and I'd be like, wow, that guy sounds absolutely incredible. Let's get you two back. Let's get you two back together, right? That's kind of where I'm at. But that line of, but it can backfire on me, Zita, Marco. It can backfire on me though. So there's one woman. That's the first question I asked her. I was on this date, and the first thing I asked her was, "Hey, tell me everything about your ex-boyfriend." So she started describing her ex-boyfriend, and I had to cut her off halfway through. Halfway through, I said, "Whoa, you know what? Your ex-boyfriend, he sounds exactly like me." So I know, so obviously I know two things. One, this isn't going to work. And two, you're the problem. Anyway, I'll leave it. I was the problem. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Nina and Elwood. That's it for me. Thank you, Margaret, for being a good sport. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Zita, for being great live. Thanks, everyone else. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll stop now, and my dinner is coming when, Nina? Okay, all right, just checking on dinner. And the door prize, you know what? If you want to, I'm in Ottawa, so if you want to give my door prize to somebody else, then you, Marco, you know, that is my baby gift to you, Marco, is that door prize. So that is my baby gift. Congratulations. As we discussed offline, this is all a scam. It's all rigged. It's all a plan. But anyway, thank you guys so much. You guys have been great. Keep up the great work, and thank you so much, Nina. Again, I really appreciate you guys inviting me out. Thank you so much.
That was awesome.
Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Hi. I would like to congratulate ECRC on their 20th year anniversary. It is definitely a huge milestone to hit, and we can't wait to see what you guys got for us in the future. So my name is Esperance, or Shima, as the rest of the team knows me, and these are my sisters. This is Joyce. My name is Junola, Michela, Beth, and we're together, we are the Ladies of Rwanda. So the way that the Ladies of Rwanda became to be was once a few years ago, somebody was looking for a performer to perform for them, and they knew that some of us danced the Rwandese dance, and so they asked us to dance, and then we became a team ever since then. And of course, knowing people in the communities like Matthew, he helped us get connected through everybody, and we've been performing ever since then. The Rwandese dance, there's many different dances, just like, you know, in the Latin, there's like a whole bunch of different types of dancing. We also have the same thing, but the one that we're doing is like the general one that comes through the whole country. And the one that the ladies do, it's usually it's meant to represent the purity of the ladies, elegance and grace. It's done through like all kinds of celebration, from winning a soccer game to going to listen to the president speak. So I hope everybody's been having a good time and enjoying our dance. We have one more song for you guys, and hope you will enjoy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
naje gusanga dore ukoresha ngo guhobera n'urukundo ndoroye bezo ni kubakobwa ayihereye 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 zirusha kwera ayinyamibaya kuzereza nini bacu bararushaka izire se wowe kwezi gukina mu bicu ahamuhomwe n'abakamisha mwini wacu baratagushaka ngaho ngwino se cyuzuzo wowe cyuzuriza ababyeyi kigasagurira imiryango ngwino wacu baragushaka ayihereye 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 zirusha kwera ayihereye yakuze neza ngwino wacu baragushaka izere nzobidanda kase neza umuteka bikwiye arihehe ugabanya babisha makuya kugushe neza izere cyogere mu nkuba rudatezuka ku rugamba umutore niwe tukesha sibo y'intore kukubibe ayihereye 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 zirusha kwera ayinyamibaya kuze neza mwini wacu bararushaka uri wese mu buzima bugeze ku bitaro kugira ngo nyine mu mategeko imbaga utendeze cyuma yari ntwari mu bakizigenza yakumanda na rupfira abawe twese turakurata muze shenge bana b'u Rwanda murakamira mugoye kwinga murakabyuka mu bwatsi bwazo urwagasabo ruratubashaka ayihereye 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 zirusha kwera ayinyamibaya kuze neza nini wacu bararushaka ayihereye 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 zirusha kwera ayinyamibaya kuze neza nini wacu bararushaka Woo!